Today we'll begin with the OS fundamentals, some interesting things about the OS, and we'll step into Linux. So let's begin. So every one of us know what is an operating system. What is an operating system? Yeah, this is the essence of today's class, understanding the features of an operating system and why do we need Linux for DevOps, virtualization, and virtual machines and the cloud. These are the basics concepts we'll be going through. So operating system, like any of us know, it will work like an bridge or it works like an interface between the computer hardware and the components and the user. Means let's say, let's suppose you want to do some activity. Let's say you want to do some painting or else you want to do some documentation, right? Let's say you bought a laptop or the hardware. You need to install some software on it, right? You have to install some software which works like an interface between the hardware components and the user. So every computer must have at least one operating system to run other applications like any browsers or MS Office, Notepad, like anything if you want to work with, right? You need an operating system which works like an interface between the user and the computer hardware, right? That's the basics of an operating system. Not only that, it does many things. Like every operating system will have a core component or kernel which will take care of resource management, which take care of the user management, lot many things, right? Also there might be so many process running. If some processor idle, it will allocate the resources to all this kind of resource management, resource sharing, all this intelligence that will be there within a component called kernel. Right? Every operating system will have a kernel. We tell that okay, operating system does this, operating system does so on. So means all of them are done through this kernel. Kernel is the basic or the core component. It is the one which does all of these tasks. And again, there are different types of kernels like monolithic kernel, microkernel, right? Windows uses microkernel, which consumes less space, right? Whereas Linux systems uses monolithic kernel. This may consume more space, but which the processing speed will be very high. In Linux, we have monolithic kernels, which helps us to have a quick or a fast processing. This is the one small advantage one major advantage we have, the difference between the kernel of Linux and Windows, which makes a difference. And also there were a few other differences like Linux, we know like it's an open source and it's free to use, but that's not the case with the Windows, right? We have to purchase the license. And Linux, it is case sensitive with the directory names, folder names. These are all case sensitive. Again, that's not the case with the Windows. Linux uses monolithic kernel where the processing speed is very high. Another reason is majority of the Linux systems doesn't have the GUI, only CLI, majority of them. That is again a major thing which brings the difference. Right, and Linux is more efficient in operation as compared to Windows. Linux is more efficient in the sense because like generally we go with the CLI. In Windows also you can use CLI, but in Linux it's like we completely depend on the CLI. And also if you want to manage hundreds of files or manage a huge infra from the CLI would be more convenient and more effective. And Windows is less efficient in operation because of the GUI, which consumes a lot of resources and which makes the system slow. And Linux, we use forward slashes. In Windows, we use backward slashes. And those are all the differences you get into acquainted when you start using it. Right? Linux is highly secure as compared to Windows. Linux is less vulnerable for thefts and attacks when compared with Windows. This is another reason for using Linux for DevOps. So here are some of the reasons which help you understand why we were going with Linux. And another major reason is majority of the DevOps tools, or at least there were certain tools which definitely need Linux. Like if you take Ansible, Ansible can monitor infrastructure yeah, in any type of infrastructure, like it could monitor Windows machines, it could monitor Linux machines, right? But it should be installed only on Linux server. The main Ansible server, Ansible controller machine should be Linux only. Those are the things you have. These are the some of the difference. Like I said, Ansible, even Prometheus server. Prometheus can again monitor a huge infra, but the Prometheus should be again installed on Linux only. So there are such constraints. Majority of the DevOps tools needs Linux platform. Also, Linux is more effective in handling the huge infrastructure and for as they were more efficient. So that's the reason we need Linux. So whoever are new to Linux here will be going through the Linux basics, right? So see, learning Linux or working on Linux operating system is very simple. It's just another environment, that's all. Like how you were working on Windows, right? You did not take up any codes or anything, right? Here also, it's just an environment. Working with the file system, navigating through the file system, these things are mandatory because if you jump into some system to navigate through the files and folders is the minimum thing we should do, right? So those things you get familiarized or acquainted when you do the hands-on. Daily you can practice it. It's not something you get familiarized with overnight in one day. Slowly you can get familiarized with the things. Right? So slowly you have to spend every day, spend some 10 minutes for Linux basic commands. You will be all set. It's just an operating system. Okay. You should get used to it. All right. Okay, fine. We need Linux for DevOps. But now how do you get this Linux environment, right? So what you can do is, okay, let's say I have my Windows laptop or I have a Mac or yeah, now I need a Linux. So what I can do, I can install some virtual machine, which we used to do some years back, some couple of years back. That's how we used to do, right? We will have some operating system. I mean, we'll have some virtual machine installed, right? Which will be a Linux virtual machine, right? See, virtualization uses software to create an abstraction layer over computer hardware that allows hardware elements of a single computer, like processors, memory, storage, and more to be divided into multiple virtual computers, commonly called virtual machines. So here is the architecture of a virtual machine. Have you ever used these virtual machines, anyone?
Yeah, Preeti, VMware. I worked on VMware earlier.
Yeah. So this is the computer hardware. Let's say this is the hardware. This is my laptop. Give me a second. Okay, this is the computer hardware, right? This is my laptop. Right. So now here, this is my Windows laptop. So this is the one. This is the Windows laptop. Now here on this Windows laptop, I need to run a Linux VM. So what we will do, what we can do here, here first to run a VM, we need to have a hypervisor. What is a hypervisor? This is the hypervisor. What is a hypervisor?
It is another software which
Yeah, hypervisor is
create.
but a software, right? It is a software with which you can run some VMs, with which you can create a virtual machine, with which you can allocate resources to the virtual machine, right? So hypervisor is a software. Example of this hypervisors are VMware, right? Oracle VirtualBox, Hyper-V, right? These are all the different examples of hypervisor. So using this hypervisor, you can launch a VM, right? VM is nothing but virtual machine is nothing but another machine which sits above your main machine. Like here in our case, it's a laptop. Above on your laptop, you can run some VMs, virtual machines, which will have their own operating system, which is called guest operating system. Do you see here every machine is having the guest operating system and this is the main operating system. Guest operating system sits above the host operating system, right? So this is how you can manage the VMs. Means, okay, this is my laptop. On this, I'll install some Linux VM. But if you notice here, every VM, for this VM or this VM, let's suppose this is the VM we have, and this is VM1 and this is VM2. Every VM, right, will be using some resources, memory and CPU. All of them will be consumed from the host. Then let's suppose in my laptop, I will install them. Let's say I'll install these VMs. Means I should allocate resources from my laptop, right? If I want to put 10 VMs, there should be enough resources in my laptop to run those 10 virtual machines. Am I correct? So what's happening here? If I start my own Linux VM for learning DevOps, I have to manage all the resources. I have to take care of backup. I have to take care of all of these things, right? If something goes wrong, if some VM crashed, I should take care of its backup. I should take care of its recovery. All of that should be handled manually. Also, I should spend on resource allocation, correct? All of this is going to be challenging, which takes a lot of time. Obviously, means you are managing your own infrastructure. Obviously, it will take time. It will take a lot of effort. Okay, you should manage them, maintain them. You should also work for their recovery. Correct? So all are these are all the challenges you have when you launch your own virtual machines. Am I correct? Agree with this, everyone? Any questions here? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are all the challenges you have. You have to manage all these things. Your resource allocation, yes, of course, you have to maintain and manage and maintain the resources as well, right? So, which is going to be definitely challenging. So, to overcome this problem, what we can do? Yes, any solutions? I don't want to manage myself. Before I talk about it, in virtual machines, there are two types of architectures. The one I have shown is called hosted architecture, means on your laptop, like you'll have an operating system, the main operating system, on which you'll install hypervisor and you'll install them. There were also a kind of bare metal architecture, means you will have a hardware. On that, you don't need again the main operating system. You'll directly install hypervisor. This is called bare metal hypervisor. There are hypervisors which can be installed on bare metal. Like some of the examples are like ESXi, Hyper-V, and so on. Okay, so but whatever it is, this is the one which is used in organizations. Okay, bare metal architecture is used in organizations where they have huge infrastructure. They may have huge hardware on which they'll have hypervisor and install the VMs. This is called bare metal architecture, which is used in the organizations. This can be used for personal purpose. For your learning, let's say you want to learn DevOps, you may go for this kind of architecture. But whatever it is, this is all bare metal architecture. Organizations use this kind of architecture. Okay, whatever, whether it is hosted or bare metal, challenges are same. You have to have in organizations, if they use this, they need to maintain a separate team for this, right? More people should be there, a separate team to manage the infra. Maintenance should be there, continuous maintenance. And also they should work on recovery, right? They should work on their high availability. All of that they should take care of. Backup and recovery. If something goes wrong, they should work on backup and recovery. All the infrastructure should be available 24/7. Meaning, let's suppose I have an application which has a business hours. Business peak hours are 2 hours every day. Let's say morning 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Only then I need 10 servers. 10 VMs. Okay, rest of the day I just need 2 VMs. But still, okay, I'll shut down these 2 VMs, but I should maintain them for all the entire day, right? 24/7, I should manage them so that I could run them for 2 hours. Correct? So even though you are using only for 2 hours, you have to pay the cost for all the entire day for management, for maintaining, and for managing. Correct? These are all the challenges you have with the virtual machines, whether it is hosted architecture or bare metal architecture. To overcome this, we have something called cloud. Cloud came in. What is cloud? On-demand computing resources delivered to us over the internet. It is self-service, it is metered. What does all that mean? First, let's take a personal use case. I want to learn DevOps. Rather than installing VM on my own machine, I can use a VM from cloud. Cloud is nothing but online management system, which is helpful to host the, which will help you host the infrastructure for you. Means instead of running VMs on your own machine, you can rent, you can use the VMs running on someone else's data center. That someone is the cloud provider. Like AWS has got its own data center, right? They are managing their own servers. On those servers, you can create a VM and use it, right? You are using some services from someone else's data center called cloud. You can use them. You did not work on their maintenance. You did not work on their management, installing the patches, upgrading. You don't need to do it. You can just, with a single click, you can get the infrastructure ready and you can use it. Means you are not managing your own data center. For lab purpose, you are not managing on your own laptop. You will use some infrastructure, some servers from cloud, right? So you just if you are using from cloud, you don't need to work on backup, you don't need to work on their availability, you don't need to work on their maintenance. If you just want to use for 2 hours, you pay only for 2 hours and use it. It's metered, means you pay only for what you use. Got the importance of cloud? Because of this, nowadays almost companies are not hosting or not managing their own data centers and their own VMs. Rather, they were using infrastructure on cloud, which is running on someone else's data center like AWS, Azure, GCP, Linode, DigitalOcean, so on, so many. Understood the importance of cloud. All the security, recovery, backup, maintenance will be taken care by the cloud provider. You can just, you don't need a separate team to create them. You don't need a separate team to manage them. You can just use from a single click, you can create and anyone can create and use it on the fly, on the go. And if you need only for 2 hours, you use it 2 hours and then destroy them or decommission them. Good.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So companies, rather than managing their own data centers, they were moving to cloud. Same is the case for us also. Rather than managing infrastructure on my own laptop, creating so many VMs, allocating resources, then if there were too many VMs, my laptop may be hanging, performance degrades, right? Instead of all of this, I can just go with the instance on cloud. So here we will be doing everything on cloud. Okay, assuming that there are some VMs on-prem, means I will use VMs on cloud, but I'll show you the approach which can be implemented on any platform. Right? Understood?
Yeah.
So any disadvantage for the cloud?
Disadvantages like see, if you are dependent on cloud, you will be like, it's called vendor lock-in. Means So let's say I did all the setup on cloud, again migrating to my own data center or another cloud would be very difficult or might be challenging at times. Of course, there are again services for migration, but still it's called vendor lock-in. Means you just go to AWS, you will be the cloud, any cloud provider tries to keep the customers, right, for longer duration. So there'll be certain services which there will be compatibility within. So it becomes very difficult to come out of it, right? Like a vendor lock-in. That's one thing. Another thing is, yeah, some certain times it might be costly as well, right? It seems less cost, it's metered, but there are certain services which may be more costly. Like, let's say you have huge infrastructure. Let's take a very big organization like Amazon or anything, a Google. They may have very huge infrastructure, right? If with such huge infrastructure, rather than they paying, of course, Google, Amazon, they have, that's why they have their own cloud. In let's take anything else like Netflix, they may have very huge infrastructure. Their bill they incur, with that bill they may have their own cloud, right? So means they may have their own data centers. It depends. Okay, also some companies, there might be some banking, some financial institutes where they can't just go with a public cloud, certain services at least. So they may have a hybrid cloud. Some of them maybe they may put on public, some of them on private, their own data centers, right? So it all depends on the service. There is no rule that yes, everything should be going on. But yes, nowadays they were going, but also nowadays they were also coming back. Some of the companies were coming back to their own data centers, which I have seen. Also, there are companies which are using both their own cloud as well as means their own data centers as well as the public cloud. Okay, hybrid cloud is the trend now.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So yeah, so which cloud? Yeah, again, people have a lot of confusion. People struggle to decide which cloud to learn, where you should go for. One thing I'm telling, this is DevOps course. I'll teach you DevOps course in such a way that you can implement it on-prem. Means any data centers or like companies, their own data centers, you can implement on any cloud. Does that mean that we should learn all the clouds? There are hundreds of cloud providers. Okay, that might be shocking, but yes, there are. And also they will be emerging much more in couple of years. Right? Many new clouds will be coming up. It's not that today you are on your company is using GCP or else you get a job description for GCP, go and learn GCP. Tomorrow you get for Azure, go and learn Azure. Tomorrow you see some other job description where they are using DigitalOcean, go for it. See, that's not the way, right? You learn one cloud, okay, you master it. There again, the services, the analogy, you will find a similar analogy and similar services in any cloud. So that's what even companies were looking for. They're not looking for candidate who know Azure, who know GCP, who know so on so. They were looking for people who can work on any emerging clouds. Means you should know the concepts, you should be able to work on any cloud. That's a kind of flexibility, that's a kind of thing they were looking in the candidates. But yeah, if you look into the market trend, AWS is very widely used than any other cloud provider still till date also. Okay, the reason being AWS offers huge number of services. What are those services? We'll see hundreds of more than 200, I think. And again, you don't need to learn all those AWS services. Okay, we will be going through the services again. Like I said, it's not just blindly going through the course content. We'll go through the services as per the requirement. And we'll be covering the services whichever you should know as a DevOps person. There might be some other service you see there. With little exploration, with little learning, you can go for it. Okay, learning 200 service is not possible, is not expected by anyone. And again, you may be asking, okay, I see a job description. There are so many AWS services there, but I don't know all of them. Should I learn? Okay, you will learn them today. Tomorrow, you will see so many other job description. There are again hundreds of, there might be again another set of services. Do you go for it? So learn the services which are widely used. Okay, and if any other service is there, you should be ready to explore, learn, and use it in the organization. Okay, and also remember all the job description is not, we are not a fit for all the job descriptions we see there. So you stick to the tools, services you are learning, you master, expertise them, that is more than good enough. All right, coming back, yeah. AWS is still widely used. Some of the companies are using GCP, some of them are using all the three. So it all depends, but this is the graph. Any other cloud might be picking up, new clouds might be coming up. So don't worry about which cloud you should go for. Anything is good. So that is about a few basics about OS to give you some idea if anyone new here, like why we are going for Linux and what is cloud. We will again come back to the VMs. We have seen VM architecture, right? We will learn this VM architecture again in detail in the coming up sessions. Why you should learn VM architecture? We are going for cloud. Yep. If there is a reason, we will also understand this as we go by. Okay, all right, fine. Now, okay, we decided we'll do all the hands-on on the cloud. But like, how do you have, like, which, how, like, is it a costly or it is charging, how it works, isn't it? Um, so here we will be creating a free AWS account, okay, on AWS. We'll be creating a free account on AWS so that you can use this free account for an year. Let me show you. Okay, so create a free account on AWS. I already have signed into my account. What is meant by free account? See here, hands-on, create a free account. Before that, you will have, see, free trials, 12 months free. 12 months free means what is it? Is it unlimited? Can I use anything else? See, here are all the services of AWS, okay, listed in, and I'm choosing the compute service. See, here are the services. The services were categorized as compute service, robotics. So whoever, let's say you are into some robotics, you will be working on these services. See, here they came up. So I'm just showing compute service for infra. So if you look into those services, here it says Amazon EC2 means Elastic Computing Cloud. That's called as EC2, which is helpful in creating VMs. So is it unlimited? No. See, it's a 750 hours free per month. Means per month, if you create account today, it's December 8th, you can use 750 hours of EC2 instances till January 8th. I think it's a per month means in this month itself, like in December, not until January 8th, January 1st. That's how month calculation is. So 750 hours per month, you can use it for free. So this is more than enough for us to go with the hands-on. You have again lot of information there. Similarly, any other service, what is free, it shows here. Here, Lambda service is 1 million free requests per month. Amazon Light Sale is 750 hours for 3-month free trial. So it has got some limitations, some free trial limitations. You have to use within that, right? So let's go and create a free account. Creating free account is very simple, like any AWS account. Okay, you can go through and create an account. Even these steps were available. These steps were available in the Google Drive as well, including the screenshots. There might be some difference in the screenshots because those UI keep on changing. These options keep on changing. There might be some difference, but yeah, these are the things. Can you create a free account from your end? Here are the screenshots, links, everything available. Just create a free. It just takes 6 steps.
So Preeti, after 12 months, will they convert our account into the pay-as-you-go like model, or
Automatically it
whatever
will
we?
not. Automatically means, see, after 12 months, you will be charged for the usage. Okay.
Yeah, for
So,
any usage, right? Yeah,
for any
Amazon
usage.
EC2. Okay.
And
And the 750 hours per month, the next month also will get 750 hours for EC2.
every month you will get up to 12 months. And
9,000 hours.
here you have the screenshots, okay, including the screenshots you have. And at one place, at one page, you will be asking for your credit card or debit card details. Yes, you have to provide them for validity, and it will deduct 2 rupees or so, and it will also credit back. Okay, but yeah, you have to provide that. And then create an instance. That's all. This will, once you validate, provide your account, it may take 30 minutes for your account to be enabled. Okay, it's very simple. Here are the screenshots. So once it is created, you can log into your account. You will be creating an account. Tell me.
Yeah. If you use more resources, like then it will be charged, or will get what on that?
Will be charged.
Like
I mean, bill will be generated. Okay,
bill will
but
be
to
generated.
pay the bill, you will be you have to confirm. So you don't, if you don't turn on auto payments, it will not be deducted until you approve or you confirm. So you don't turn on auto payments when you provide credit card details.
Okay. So we have to use in that limit. If we cross limit again, a bill will be generated.
Yes, you can see your free tier limitation usage somewhere here. If you go to your account billing, there'll be some free tier, like how you are using that. You can see that.
Okay. Then if we
Budget.
create instance, then we need to terminate, right? Or else it will be keep on charging.
Somewhere there should be free tier eligibility shown. Bills.
Yeah, under the cost analysis, free tier is the left pane.
Yeah. Cost analysis, free tier. Okay, here you can see this is what I'm using for 12 months as part, how much it is used, right? Forecast usage, current usage, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, 3 hours I have used. 750 hours is left. Forecasted usage, and you have everything, whatever we are using. That's how you can also understand. So go to, once your account is enabled, go to EC2.
Preeti, per 1 year is the 750 hours, or per month 750 hours?
750 hours per month for 1 year. Means every month you will get 750 hours for 12 months.
24 hours into 30 days, that is 720 hours. Then why they are giving 30 hours extra?
You may be keeping them running.
That's what, even if I run throughout the month, that will be 720 hours.
Multiple instances. You will be running multiple instances, right? Not one instance.
Yeah, then that's fine.
Multiple
Okay.
names. It's not single
Okay.
name. Right?
Which is the credit card is required for this?
Your credit card or debit card required.
Okay.
See, now once you create your instance, go to once you go to EC2 page, go to launch instance. You may give some name to your instance. Okay, and here it will ask you to choose the operating system. Which kind of EC2 instance, means VM you need. Is it a Mac or Linux or Ubuntu? Again, different distributions of Linux. Here I am going with Amazon Linux. Okay, Amazon Linux is CentOS or Red Hat based. I'm going with this, and I'm not going with Amazon Linux 2023. Amazon Linux 2. This is free tier eligible. Amazon Linux 2 is the one you should go with. Remember, don't choose 2023. Those are different Linux distributions, that's all. Right? This is the one we are using, Amazon Linux 2. Free tier eligible. That's called Amazon Machine ID. Okay, you'll get this ID seen there. And then instance type. I'm going to have T2.micro instances. T2.micro means one vCPU. It provides you one vCPU, 1 gigs of memory. Okay, T2.micro, 1 vCPU, 1 gigs of memory. Right, you may go for 2 vCPU. There were so many instances here. There were different types of instances. Do you see if you need huge instance, T2.medium, 2 vCPU, 4 gigs. T family is a general family. You have so many different families like C family type and so on. R family, D family. For memory intense applications, you have R family, database, D family. You have so many different types of servers, different types of architecture, virtual CPU, gigs storage, and so on. Okay, that's a huge, the plethora of instances you have. Okay, T2.micro with 1 vCPU, 1 gigs of memory is enough for us. So we'll go for this. And key pair, okay. For the first time, if you create an account, you should create a key pair. The concept of key pair is an such concept. We will learn this concept separately. Here, just follow the steps. The concept behind it, we will learn tomorrow in the next class. So just go and click on create a key pair. Go for this PEM format, give some name. Okay. And create a key pair. For the first time, it will download the PEM file. I already have a key pair created like that. If you create one time, you can use the same key pair. So I already have it, I'm using it. Okay, it will download for the first time when you create. PEM file will be downloaded. Okay, then launch the instance. A new instance will be created. Okay, here is the new instance. And how to connect to it? There are many ways to connect to it. I'll show you all the ways. See, instance is created. Is it running on my laptop? Where is the virtual machine running?
AWS.
It's running on AWS. It's not on my laptop. That's one thing you need to note. Okay, fine. It's running on AWS, but I want to connect to it, isn't it? I want to go into the machine. I want to do some things. So how do you connect? There are different ways. One simple way is select it, go to connect, to instance connect. This is browser-based connection. See, a browser launch and you are connecting to it. Okay, also default user is easy to use. So you see the prompt. You may run any Linux commands. Okay, you may do anything here. Simple, correct? If you want to quickly connect and do something, you can go for this browser-based connection. Good? Good with the first way of connecting.
Yes.
This is available here as number 2, browser-based connection. Now, number 3, through Git Bash. This is for Windows. Like if you are using a Windows system, you already have Git Bash, right? Do you have
Yes.
Git Bash or not?
Yeah, we installed
Yes.
on
You launch that
Yes.
Git Bash. Okay, you launch that Git Bash. Select the instance, launch the Git Bash. Go to this SSH client tab. Copy this command and run the command. You should run this command from the location of this PEM file. You downloaded the PEM file, right? You can give some name to your PEM file you downloaded. In the Git Bash, you should go to this location and run the command. For Windows people, this is for Windows people. If it is Mac or Linux, you can go to your terminal. Okay, launch your terminal. If it is Mac or Linux, go launch your CLI. Go to your CLI. Okay, or go to your terminal. Go to that location where the PEM file is. I have downloaded that PEM file in the desktop in this folder. See, this is the PEM file. Now you have to run the command from this PEM file. From the location of the PEM file. Copy this. Right, it will ask for confirmation, give yes. See, I'm connected. Do you see that prompt? We are connected. Are we good? Yes, I say from Git Bash, you can run it in the Windows. In Windows, you can run this from?
Git bash.
Yes. Okay, that is one way to connect. Okay, another way is through putty. If you have putty, okay, on Windows, but this is on Windows. If you have putty, you can also connect through putty. Those steps were available here. I'm using Mac, so you can do this from your end, putty. If you want to use putty, yes, here are the steps you can go and do this with putty. Putty is nothing but another interface, like you have Git bash and terminal. This is another interface to SSH or to connect to the remote machine. So all the 4 steps of connectivity were available. Also, there is a video, a short video, how to connect with putty. So you can also go forward. Good. So we can connect. I already connected to my instance now. You can do the hands-on. You can learn your Linux. You can do anything. Good to go. Any questions from anyone? The concept behind, like, what is SSH? The concept we will learn in the next class. Tell me.
I have created the Azure account, free Azure account. So I will create the Google means Amazon account also. Free.
Louder, please. Azure account you have.
So I will create the Amazon account also.
You can create.
Okay.
Both are separate, right?
Okay. Got it.
So now we are connecting to our instance. Let's go and learn some Linux basics, right? So you can earlier also during Git bash or Git sessions, we have used some Linux, the CLI commands like ls. Every one of you know, it will list the files and folders of the particular path you are giving. Present working directory. If you want to say where are you, like in Windows, you have GUI, you double click, you open and do it. But this is how you know you are in home directory under EC2 user. EC2 user is the default user. Okay, and you are in the home directory by default. What is this home directory also you will learn. If you want to go one step back, cd ... will help you go one step back. Right. Now let's say I just want to go to the home directory. Home directory is denoted with tilde. It's nothing but home EC2 user. See, let me tell you one thing. Like in Windows, you have drives, right? C drive and all. Similarly, here in Linux, you have only one. It's like a tree structure. Okay, folder files and folder structure. File system is like a tree structure. The main parent directory is considered as root. Okay, below this you have everything else. Okay, below this you have home directory. Okay, you have HC directory, USR directory. These are all different directories you have under root. Root slash means root. That's a called parent directory. Okay, now that's why everything will be under this root. Right, see here, slash means this is parent directory. Slash home EC2 user. Okay, now I want to create a file here. You may use touch to create a file. Okay, file is created. Touch command will create a file, or else you can use editors like Vim editor. Vim is an editor, like you have Notepad, Notepad++, editors in Windows. You have editor which is Vim. Vim file name. This will also create the file if the file is not there, and open it to edit. See? And at the bottom, you are seeing the name means it's in the command mode. You have to go escape I to get into insert mode to allow it for writing. Now suppose you want to close, save and close. Again, escape, colon, WQ, exclamatory. That will save the file. See, the content will be saved. right? That's how you can edit. There are separate Vim commands, okay, in the Google Drive. You can practice them slowly. If someone new here to Linux, you can understand them through practice. Okay, so file is created, and there is another like print command, echo, that will just print or display. Now this output of this, I want to put it into the file 1. You can use this arrow, redirection arrow, file 1. Okay, that is another way to put some content into the file. Check the content, see? Check the content. Cat command will show you the contents of the file, like a read. Okay, those are the simple commands. Okay, and to create a directory, mkdir, let's say my directory. Right, do you see that? When you see a directory is created, if you want to go change directory, cd, go into that directory, else there is nothing. Okay, if you want again, you can create something here, or else let's say I want to move this. Move means move file 1 into my directory. See, file 1 is not there. Go to my directory here, you should see that file 1. Right? Copy is different from move. What is the difference between copy and move? I want to copy file 2 again to my directory. See, copy means you'll still have the file 2 here, but it will be also copied into this. Right? If you want to come out of the directory, like it's like going back one step up, cd ... ls, you have it. See, if you want to see the content of any directory, my directory, you are going inside and doing ls, or else you can also do ls that directory. Instead of going into the directory, just ls directory can also show you files of that directory. Clear? Yep. Simple commands. These are like commands to work with your files and folders, navigating through your file system. Just little practice. It's another platform, another environment. That's all. Okay. Simple operations like you do in Windows. Any operating system, if you get in first, these are the basic things you should do. Correct? How do you delete? Suppose I want to delete this file too. Right? So file 2 is gone. Suppose I want to delete this directory. See, it's a directory. You can't delete with rm. You have to do it with rm minus rf. So that directory along with its contents will be deleted. See, everything is gone. Right? That's how you can delete any directories, files, rm command. And there are so many system created files already. Right? Let's say there is a file. Suppose you are on this machine, you want to see which type of Linux distribution it is. Right? All of them are placed under a file called etc OS release. There is a file called etc OS release. You may go to that location under root etc OS release. So many are there. So I'm opening cat OS release. See, this is the file. It's Amazon Linux too. Correct. And it's like CentOS, Red Hat, Fedora type of systems which are used more in reality. That's why we are using it. Okay. And Amazon Linux too. These are the details you can see here. Right? This is where you have system information. There were so many default files, so many commands which can help you understand the details. Let's say you want to know the CPU information. See ls CPU, some commands. It will give you all the details. It is 1V CPU, right? Here it shows cores, number of nodes, number of cores. If you want to see details about memory, ls memory, those are Linux commands actually. And also we are running everything as a easy to user. Easy to user is a regular user. Like in Windows, you'll have admin user. On Linux, you have an admin user who is called as a super user or a root user, which is called root. This is called root user or super user, right? And EC2 user is a regular user. If you want to do permissions, installations, root user, you should do as root user. And whenever you can create other users as well. And whenever you create any user, that user will have his own home directory. Whenever you create a user, he will have his own home directory created with the same name. Means under home, it will be created as easy to use. That's why we are doing everything here. Root users home directories under root, right? Similarly, tomorrow you create Tom. Whenever you create a user, his home directory will be created like this. Means whatever he does, any installations, everything goes into this directory. Also, whenever you create a user, see, users are human users. There might be 5 members in the team. All those, we will talk about users management also. So all these users may need same permissions. What you can do, you can create a group and give permissions to them. So that is one thing. And whenever you create a user, a group also will be created with the same name of the user by default. Similarly, if you create Tom user, a group called Tom will be created by default, and this Tom user will be added into this Tom user group. By default, that happens. And all that information, user information, I'm an EC2 user. EC2 user groups, if you want to see, run the groups command. See, he is into EC2 user group and some other groups as well, like admin, wheel, and so on. Those are all system defined groups. He is under EC2 user group and other groups also. Okay. And if you want to see all other groups, you have a command called etc group. See, EC2 user group and so many other system defined groups. If you want to see the users, etc password file. See, EC2 user, every group user will have some ID created 1000 and his home directory. Right, we will talk about this users groups and permissions in the next class. Any more questions on this part from anyone? Meanwhile, let me show you few more things. Suppose you want to switch. Okay, I want to switch to root user. Sudo su hyphen. See, do you see here root, the main user or super user? And how do you install anything on Linux? You will be using something called package manager in Linux. What is this package manager? See, in Windows, installations are simple. You just install them. They get installed in some place. But in Linux, all the binaries, binaries will be installed in one place, libraries in another place. That's how it works. So manually installing it might be difficult. So we have something called package managers. And again, you have different package managers for each instance, for each distribution. Like if it is CentOS, you have M package manager. If it is Debian, like Ubuntu systems, apt-get is the package manager. So you can use different package managers to install it. This will take care of installation and during uninstallation, cleanup of the binaries, libraries from different locations, all of them will be handled by this. Okay, so you will use some package manager to install. Let's suppose I want to install Git. Do we have Git here? No. How do you install Git? M install Git. That's all. M is a package manager. It's asking for confirmation. Give Y. Yes. So it will install. See, Git is installed. Now if you run Git, it's showing lot of verbose, means Git is installed. You can also check the version this way. That's how you can install Git. Right? Very simple. Same is the case with any other packages. Once it is installed, again the concept is same. You create some directory where you want to keep the code. Go to, these are all the things we did in Git, right? Now do here Git init, and yes. Yeah, you can install anything here and so on. See, .git is created. To see the hidden files, ls-a. ls will show the files, no files. Commands concepts are same. You create some file, add it, and so on. Am I making sense? We will also install few other packages. We will go with user management, package management as well, users, permissions. Okay, once we talk about these users and permissions, we'll also talk about this package management, right? If you want to come out of this exit, you will be back to EC2 user. To go to the home directory, tilde is the shortcut. Tilde means home EC2 user. So you are back. History command will show you the list of commands. Okay, if you want to put all these commands, means the history is giving output. I want to put everything into, let's say, a file. I just want to create a file called log.txt, place it everything there. Means log.txt might have created. See, it have all the commands. Means this is called redirection arrow. Okay, it will put everything. Output of this will be passed as an input for this. Suppose history, it will show all the output. Out of this history, I want to see only few things. So I can use, this is called pipe operator, which will connect two commands. History output, in this output, I want to search. How do you search? Global regular expression. Search for cat commands. See, only the commands with cat is shown. So grep is very widely used to search some log files and all. Pipe means you are connecting those two commands. History command, whatever it gives, you are searching there for cat. Now, I want to add them separately to this log.txt. Right? You can do this. Now, log.txt has got only cat. What about the previous history commands? They were overwritten. See? Again, I'll do this. Each time they are overwritten. Now, log file will have all the commands. Right? That will overwrite. Suppose without overwriting, after the history, I want to append the commands of cat. Double arrows will append without overwriting. Now, if you see the command, see, at the end you have cat commands. Am I making sense? That's a pipe operator, grep command, redirection arrows. Single arrow means it will overwrite the things here in this file. Double arrow means it will append them to the existing ones. These are the simple and the basic Linux commands. You can slowly get used to it. You need not try to master it in one go in one day. Okay, slowly understand them. Every day you practice them for 10 minutes, you will be all good. Right, that's another operating system environment. You can't master it in an overnight. Just keep on using it. You get familiarized, you get used to the things. That's all. Any questions?
If the shell scripting knowledge is required for this, or it's the advantage or not,
Having a
or
shell
any?
scripting knowledge is an added advantage. It's not mandatory,
Okay.
but good to have thing, not mandatory. We'll also go through some shell scripting. We'll also use some shell scripting in our CI/CD pipelines in this course. I'll also show you without using the shell script because shell scripts are not mandatory. So we will do both.
Okay.
So
Hi,
now
Prati,
what? Tell me, please.
yeah, the commands are executing in putty interface, right? What
I'm
you are
using
showing.
terminal on Mac.
Okay.
In Windows, you can use Putty or Git Bash, anything. You can use Mobex term. So many SSH clients are there, different interfaces. You can use any of them.
For installing the putty, the steps are there, right?
Yes, in the Google Drive I have shown you, right? There you have all the steps. Here are the steps. Download the Putty, install the Putty, how to connect. Steps are there. Video is also there, how to connect to through Putty.
Okay.
So now you can go and create a free account on AWS, create an EC2 instance, and explore and do this hands-on. Once you are done, just don't leave it running. Go and stop it. Stop means tomorrow you can again start and use it. Don't terminate it. Terminate means what happens if you terminate? Terminate means it will be also deleted. You can't reuse it. If you want to reuse it, stop it.
If we stop it, it will not be charged. Like
It will not be charged.
It, okay.
So that is all for today, and we shall continue from here in the next session, which is on Monday. Meanwhile, complete all your hands-on, all the quiz available in the portal. Utilize the weekend for your hands-on. For 2 months, dedicate some time on your weekends for your hands-on. And we will meet again on Monday morning. Any question?
Preeti, I have a question regarding yesterday gate thing.
Tell me,
So
please.
yesterday you had taught us only client side installation. What about the server side installation? If I want to implement the gate in our environment, for that, do you have any kind of a document?
No, I don't have any document for it. Server-side installation, generally admins will do that. We will not be doing or setting up that our own hosted repositories. Also, with our lab setup, we can't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, Preeti, now we are getting experience on hands-on experience on AWS. In the same way, do we get experience on our system, like how to create a, a virtual machine in our system? Do we get that experience?
No, that's not required, right? Why do you need to create our own VMs? We are not using now. We are moving to cloud, or else you have your own data centers. So we are not doing that right nowadays. That is not required by you.
Yeah, okay. I have a one general doubt, Preeti. Just let me know. See, previously, where I worked in the company, they used some GoDaddy hosting services. Now, the company which I'm working now, they are using AWS. Actually, previously also, I don't have any knowledge on that, but I know that all the hosting database and everything, what they were using GoDaddy, which is a very cheaper price. I came to know that they are spending around 20K per year. But now the present company where they are using, they are spending per month in lakhs. I asked them, so why do you want to use AWS when we are getting that in a GoDaddy? So same application, same database, same everything was there. Why they are using this AWS? Can you just give me in brief?
See, all the other services might be on AWS, right? Other database, their clusters, EC2 instances, everything is on cloud. Also security. It provides major security. Also, it also provides with private SSL also possible on AWS with their own Route 53 service. Means with Route 53, they can have their own hosting. Their own SSL certificates also can be used. Private CA authorization is also possible with S3. Route 53. So maybe they may, as per the requirement, right?
But actually, it's like same type of application which they used earlier
Their
in.
own, their own CA, their own certificate authorization, their own SSLs, instead of depending on third party. That is also possible with Route 53. Their own domain, their own hosting. They don't need to depend on this GoDaddy kind of. Suppose you have a website, you need SSL. How do you go for it? Even we can have our own CA authorizations as well possible in Route 53, but which is again costly service. So depending on the organization, what they were doing, they might be something else, right? Like they may need their own CA, or they may have to use their own certificates for authorization instead of going for third party.
Okay.
All right then. Thank you all. See you all on Monday. Have a good day. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Good morning, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, Mahendra, good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Sorry, I didn't get a proper Zoom link today, so I couldn't join proper time.
Zoom link is already shared yesterday in the WhatsApp group. You are there in the WhatsApp group, right?
Actually, I'm a new joiner, so that's why I couldn't get a proper on my email ID.
And not on email ID. We were sharing it on WhatsApp as well as in the WhatsApp group. In the description, you have all the links. And some of the other participant is also asking for drive link. All the links, if you go to WhatsApp, you have a description, right?
Okay.
In the description, you have a Zoom link, you have good drive link, you have YouTube recordings. All the links were there in the WhatsApp group description. Please check the description, everyone. You have everything there.
Okay, ma'am.
All right then. Thank you all.